Hello.
During this time, I read a message from the backstage of his house. Well, most of them are asking some questions related to interruptions. Well, that's the main thing to talk about here. Wi-Fi is interrupted. Take this RTL8188EE as an example. What about interruptions? One of its sends. In fact, it is a phased process. First of all, the driver needs to enter an acceptable interrupt and enter such a state of IFR technology. And then, let's use another method of sending in the middle section. This approach has already been open-sourced on GitHub. Well, in this way, we can send the middle section out. In order to enter the correct financial FR technology, that's the open-source part. Needless to say, we are interrupted by this MFI because of the plan. So, on MF, you can actually stare at it here. Okay. And, we just need to send an MSI interrupt. Can you open it for here? For this midsection. Why is that? The way they open-sourced it. Here MSRX, they formed a bag by themselves. In fact, there are also friends in the background asking about this. So here's a brief explanation. It's this fork link. This chip of the IT7. It is for MFI or traditional endpoint. It is due to its IP number. It can be automatically packaged, so we don't have to worry. There is no need to consider the address of this address, or what is the maintenance content. Well, this can be sent automatically. Yeah. But here's one more idea before I do that. Is this the interruption? In fact, it is like sending a data packet to an address. This data packet, BMSSI, is written in this CFG configuration space. It's all here. It's all there. It is different from MSI. It's in a MSIX table. This table is usually written in this bar. Well, here's a brief mention of this tease. You can continue to talk in detail if necessary. Well, keep watching this MSI break. Yes, after opening it. In fact, this sending process, it's just no problem. It's all about how we get it in the right way. And senior technology. For this 81881, China technology, the relevant function it drives is this piece. What about this one? We can see it as a computer write value. Write the value. We just have to look. What kind of computer is this? It's actually fine. Well, let's take a look at this GN7. Then he is to this B connector. Then write a small f. Then write to the ERB8 connector as well. Then send the BZF I-code to the BC1 connector. It looks like this is here. Like 58 calculators also write a full F value. At this point, it drives into a state of this received interrupt. Then we use this open source method. Remember this CFJA 7 o'clock SVA. Here we give inheritance to here. Then it can be driven positively. You can receive the count correctly. At this point, you can use Java some similar tool to scan it. You will see this me interrupt. Correct. Please count. This part. It's not that hard, is it? Because this network interface card of Realtek. External network interface card is indeed relatively simple. Okay. Let's talk about this network interface card some later. Other questions. There are also many people asking in the background. Of course, not the 8181 then maybe you're asking something else. Realtek network interface card. That is. Similar to a static buff or a dynamic buff problem. Okay. Mainly talk about this static bar. Is there a concept in the market? It is actually a real network interface card. Its value within 80 yuan is all down. Something like this. Straight down. And this is when you put it in. It can probably load the driver. This method. It's easier, but it's very limited. Well, just take this 8188 pages for example. Take this one. Some would say he's a great version. After putting it down, find out. This 8188 can also load drivers. Then there is Mac. Well, what's the reason for this? It's him. It's a trick. It's not really a Middle Eastern way. Well, we can take a look. This is his Mac calculator. He has a read value. Let's take a look at his MAC ID at 610. At this 610, then it performs a write operation directly. And so when we were dumping, we write the value directly here. Exactly the MAC value of this driver. That's the value at 610. Well, this happened by accident. Because not all coupons do this. Well, what about this 218E? It's a correct loading process. It's actually on a Mitsubishi calculator. In this calculator, it writes and reads, here, some reads of some values similar to MAC. Okay. Uh-huh. In fact, it's all about dynamics one way at a time. Ah, what about dynamic this way? Ah, you need to use Linux or some other tool to make one. Well, a trace of the calculator. This part is said in this part. Then I'll put out a separate video and talk about it later. Well, it feels like 818-1 actually has nothing to say. The friend who asked backstage. After watching this video, if there are any other questions, you can send it again separately. Or I'll make a separate video. See where you interrupt? He won't send it. Yeah. I will also know this firmware. I also generate good, then students in need can ask me to get it. Yeah. That's it for this video. See you all next time.